I vividly remember my first glimpse of the Jeep Sandstorm concept back in 2018. It was easily one of the coolest Jeeps I'd ever laid eyes on. At the time, none of us could have predicted how many of its features would actually make it into production Jeeps you could buy off the lot. Fast forward to last year, and I had the chance to reconnect with this marvel and chat with Chris Piscatelli, one of the brilliant minds behind the design. We delved into the fascinating history of this concept, yet I never had the chance to sit behind the wheel until today. For the first time, I'm going to pilot the Sandstorm on a dusty trail completely unsupervised. But that's not all. Today also lines up a thrilling itinerary where I'll explore a series of new and past Jeep concepts. I'll have the opportunity to meet with some legends in the off-road community and get their takes on these pioneering vehicles. Later, I'll take the reins of the brand new 2024 Jeep Gladiator Mojave, pushing it to speeds that are probably more thrilling than advisable. My adventure in Moab culminates with the exhilarating drive along the famous Poison Spider Trail in my own Jeep Gladiator. Joined by a fantastic group of enthusiasts, we're ready to test our limits on this legendary path. These are 2 days packed with unforgettable moments and groundbreaking rides. Join me as we kick up some dust and make some memories. Good morning, guys. It is a beautiful morning here in Moab, and we just got done with breakfast. I was having breakfast with Sean, and now we are making our way north. We got about a 35-minute drive, and we're gonna go hang out with folks at Jeep today, drive some vehicles, and should just have a really, really good time. I'm excited to see what the day has in store for us. We made it, we arrived. We're a little bit early, but what I love about Jeep is they always choose these incredible locations to do these concept reveals. This is a gorgeous spot, and down there are all the cool concepts, and over here are some 2024 Gladiators we might get to go play around with. So today should be a whole lot of fun. This is my 4th year attending the Jeep concept reveal, and I'm honored to be invited to this unique event. This year, they decided to give us a little more freedom, and I was thankful to get to spend some good quality time with these Jeeps and talk with some old and new friends. Before we get up and close with these Jeeps, I want to quickly thank the sponsor of this video, onX Off-Road. onX is a comprehensive and easy-to-use navigation system that will help you find and navigate to some incredible backcountry trails. If you're looking for an adventurous place to explore, onX Off-Road will help you get there. I'll leave information in the description where you can get 20% off on your premium membership. Now, to kick off the day, the marketing, design, and engineer team gave us some insight on this year's concept and a bit more information on the new Mojave. And spoiler alert, this Jeep surprised the heck out of me. So we've been hanging out for about an hour here, just checking out all the concepts and getting a bunch of informational briefs from the Jeep team. Just good info. But it's really casual this morning, and what a beautiful location. And now we get to go drive them and kind of, see how they feel, what our first impressions are. They just started up the 392, you heard that. What I think will be fun is, one, I'll go drive them and give you my impressions, but maybe I'll ask a couple of other folks around here what their impressions are, because, it's fun to hear other people's opinions. Man, listen to that 392 roar. That's pretty awesome. Okay, look, this is Sandstorm, and I remember the very first time I saw Sandstorm years ago was at Jeep Bash in Long Beach, and it pulled up and it just had this amazing, yeah, that right there, an incredible roar. And I've seen this thing several times over the years, but you know what? I've never got to drive it. So today, we're gonna drive it. Listen to that thing. What a beast. What a beast this is. And of course it's a manual. It's got this really cool flip switch to turn it on. Oh yeah, this is awesome. Oh yeah, heck yeah. I have seen this so many times. I have always wanted to drive it. I'm so glad they have it out here. And I can't believe they're letting us drive these by ourselves this year. That's pretty cool. Usually there's a guide with us, but this year they trust a few of us to just hey, go ahead, take what you want. Very honored to be out here, guys. Huge thanks to Jeep for inviting us out here. This is an amazing vehicle. Boy, I feel like a little kid right now driving this thing. This is super cool. Now, a few interesting things about Sandstorm. This was introduced prior to the release of the Jeep Gladiator, and while it is a Wrangler, it's stretched both in the front and the rear, and it gave us a glimpse into what was to come with the Gladiator. This also had a 392 engine inside, and that wasn't an option. It wasn't until 3 years later that Wrangler owners could get that. Lastly, this concept was built for the desert, not rock crawling, and I'd say it was the foundation for the desert-rated Gladiator Mojave. You need to keep your eye out when Jeep releases these concepts. You never know when new features might be coming to production vehicles in the future. I'm in this little sandy section right now, and this thing is just rowdy in the sand. I love it. I love it. This is a blast to drive. Man, I wish I could spend a whole day with this thing. All right, guys, Rick Payway is out here, and if you don't know Rick Payway, he is an icon in the Jeep community, and the famous sandals, if you have a Jeep, on your Jeep, there's some sandals on there, and this is because of this man. Rick, it's good to see you, buddy.
Thank you. Yeah, good to see you too.
Quick question for you. What's your favorite concept out here this year?
I haven't driven them all, so I can't tell you for sure, but I have a feeling the Dispatcher, the four-wheel drive Dispatcher, might be the best.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like the lowdown because that 392 is an awesome build.
Of course.
But there's something to be said about older vintage style Jeeps, and that's exactly what the Dispatcher is.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Real quick, Gone Jeepin'. Tell us about that.
A lot of people said something to the effect of, "Where's Rick Payway gone?" Because, you know, once magazines were killed, and they said, "Oh, well, he's gone Jeepin'." And that's how the name was evolved from Tracy, and we're still doing it. So like, share, and subscribe. You're going to find all Jeep all the time.
Awesome.
And maybe some other weird stuff, but still, all Jeep
Other
all
weird
the
stuff
time.
is good.
Yeah.
Always good to see you, buddy.
You too.
Thank you. All right. Make me drive a couple manuals today, Sean.
Yeah.
Let's see how this goes. Okay.
Feel like we're in the Army now.
I know, dude. This thing's cool.
It's very cool.
So we're in staff car. This is a JK turned into an old military vehicle, which I really appreciate and am inspired by. Dude, your first time out here for the Jeep Concepts?
It is, yeah. It's a super fun event.
Yeah, you guys have driven a couple already. What have you driven so far?
We drove this Gladiator up here with the AccuAir suspension, which I thought was really smooth. I was surprised how cool it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I like
cool
that.
you can go from all the way up to 6 inches.
Yeah. Well, and what I think is really neat about it is it has individual corner leveling. So if you were camping.
Oh, yeah.
And you're on like an angle, you just level it right out, right?
No getting rocks and lifting
crazy?
up and stuff. That's pretty cool. Wow, that's awesome. I will say, I just drove Sandstorm, which is a rowdy Jeep. It was also a manual. This one is so much smoother. Okay, so what else did you drive?
I drove the turquoise one with the Willys. I want them to do the stamped hood.
Yeah.
Like make that, put Rubicon or whatever on it, right?
Sure. Yeah.
But they should bring that back. That looks so good.
It does look really, really good. Yeah. Although I'd have to get like figure out how they could do it, because, you know, everybody does their custom stickers.
Yeah.
Like I have a TrailRecon on there, right?
Or what if when you order your Jeep, they let you like customize
Put your name
so
on your
you can
Jeep?
write like TrailRecon it's stamped on the hood.
Dude,
Come on,
cool.
yeah.
That would be so rad. Okay, so I know you haven't driven them all, but just the ones you've seen and looked at, is there one that like stands out? Like that one's beautiful?
Definitely 42s with no lift.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, right?
I was looking at that.
Yeah.
And just like taking mental notes for when I build a Wrangler, you know?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Did you just say you're going to build a Wrangler?
Well,
wow.
Eventually,
Okay.
it's because I told you before, like I want to build a rock crawler, right?
Yeah.
So obviously it's going to be a Wrangler.
Yeah.
I don't know when it's going to happen because I've got other projects this year that are taking up my time and budget, but I really want to have a rock crawler that I can bring out here for this event and go really just point and shoot some of the hard stuff,
right?
You know?
Well, you got to drive my favorite concept, which is Shortcut. And you want to talk about a minimalist Jeep.
Yeah.
That thing is, it's small, it's nimble, so you got to give that one a drive before you leave today.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, guys, so I was just talking about Shortcut, and Chris was standing in the background, and he came over and he told me about a couple really cool details on this that I never really noticed. So Chris, first of all, dude, thanks for continuing to build concepts, man. I really appreciate it, because we love this stuff.
This is the fun stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's it's, you know, like I said before, when you're fighting for millimeters on things, you get to do something like this, and it is literally like, oh, you need to knock 14 inches off something? Break out the blowtorch. Let's try this out. So no, these ones are a blast.
Yeah. Now you did Shortcut what year?
This was from 2016.
16. Okay.
Yeah.
And the idea of this concept was just to be minimalist, right?
Yeah. So there was kind of two things in play. One was the idea that we could take all the overhang off of the front and the rear and make it, you know, really like both feel short, but then also kind of represent a lot of the attributes of the old CJ5s.
Yeah. Okay, now you were pointing out a couple very small details that I had really not noticed until you mentioned them. Can you just share with us some of those?
One of the things that a lot of people miss on this car is that, because a lot of people at a glance like, oh, you knocked the doors off. And it's like, yes, we did, but we actually ended up pulling the step over up, a good maybe 5 inches, you know, to get that body side to feel like the old CJs. Another thing was that we pulled the windshield angle forward. So again, you might ask why, and it was pure dorkiness, right? It was like we wanted it to have this kind of flatter kind of feel and taller windshield. And then even something as simple as taking the black paint and extending it out to make the windshield visibly look bigger, and the pillar visibly look smaller.
I had never noticed that.
Yeah, little design tricks to kind of you know, get even something like this, where I know it's hard to catch on the camera, but this is a different shade of red. And it just kind of continues, because if you're really nerding out on the old ones, there was a step in the metalwork, and again we just kind of wanted that, and that's why that kind of cuts down here as a vestige to the old.
Okay, guys,
ones.
I mentioned I spent an entire day with this Jeep, and I never noticed that. Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, so fun little details that we kind of threw in there that just kind of helped tie the idea together.
There was one more that you pointed out here on the fender. What was that one?
Well, it was the split line here.
Yeah.
The idea that the old CJs actually had, you know, where the fender breaks. Now, obviously, JKs were a lot different in the way that they're add-on flares versus them being metal part of the body. But that brake line coming off the hood was something that, again, we didn't need to do it, but it seemed to feel correct, right? Even the Jeep lettering we got from, actually get these for restoring old ones, and we got that and integrated into the sheet metal. Yeah,
I love what you just said, is we didn't need to do it. You didn't need to make this cut, but it just felt right to do it.
It did. It kind of, again, it ties everything, even if it's not something that's like, you know, super noticeable at first. It's those little details that holistically give it the right feel.
Yeah, well, Chris, I appreciate you, man. Keep doing what you're doing, buddy.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, we just hopped into Lowdown, and Sean's gonna drive first. And this thing is a very beautiful and probably rowdy 392 that they have built on 42-inch tires with no lift, which required a massive amount of trimming. And Chris showed me some of the trimming they had to do. It's crazy.
Yeah, we were just looking at how close the 42-inch tire is to the body.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And they had to raise the fenders up like 6 inches, and then it's got the clear hood.
Yeah, I love the clear hood. Yeah. I'm gonna beg everyone that will listen to make one of these for me.
Yeah. Sounds great.
Okay, we've got the loud exhaust on. Good.
Loud exhaust is on. What's really cool about this one is there's no radio. They've taken the radio out of here because they said you don't need it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You hear that? That's all the noise and tunes you need. Now, we both already have. I have a 392. You have a 427.
426.
426. I was close.
That is awesome. Same motor, but a little bit different mods.
But how cool would it be to be on 42s?
You know what? This feels really good. You can't lose on 42s is what I hear.
You can't lose on 42s. This top makes me look like
we're glowing.
Yeah, we're glowing. This is the first time I've ever driven a Jeep on 42s. Your first time as well.
Yeah, I like it.
I think we need 42.
It's a little stiffer suspension than the other concepts.
The bump stops are pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other ones, like this feels more like my truck when I'm driving on this kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah, it's
stiff.
Bump stop.
I think you hit the bump stops.
Bump stop.
Woo!
Oh, I love the girdle.
Oh.
Bump stops are stiff.
It's a bouncy seat suddenly. Whoa!
This is Nina Barlow, and if you don't know Nina Barlow, first she runs Barlow Adventures, which is a tour outfit in Sedona, Arizona. So if you ever need a tour Jeep out in Sedona, she's the person to hit up with. But more importantly, I don't know, okay, maybe not more importantly, but you've been coming out here to EJS for a long time. How many times have you been out here?
I didn't know that was going to be on my test. I'm not sure, because I missed a few years here and there over the years, but yeah, I mean, consistently for about 20 years.
Yeah, and you've been leading Jeep's runs for a long time as well, right?
Yep.
Okay, I know I've seen you at many of these concept reveals. Yeah. Always exciting. This year, pretty good lineup. But there's also some nice old school ones here. Yeah. Do you have a favorite that kind of sticks out?
So yeah, there's a lot of them that have a special place in my heart. I have to say, the thing about the concepts is, like, this year people are like, well, there's nothing that's terribly exciting, because I mean, there's a Gladiator. Oh, you know, we have those now, because 5 years ago, only 5 years ago, we were begging. All of us were like, oh my gosh, we have to have a V8 Wrangler, and oh my gosh, we have to have a Jeep truck, you know. And we got those. We can go buy those. Yeah. We've been able, for a couple years now. And so now it's like, well, how do we keep coming up with concepts that are going to make us excited? Because they keep giving us everything we want. Except there's the one thing, and it's this one right here. Is a little shorty, like a little super simple stripped down model, short wheelbase, no frills, but all of the performance goodies. Yep. I even like how they kind of they left the back open, so more like a truck bed, 100%. So Shortcut still will always have a special place in my heart. But honestly, all of these, lower 40 was just groundbreaking. Sandstorm is just it's stupid fun.
It's just stupid fun. Well, great minds think alike, because Shortcut is my favorite.
Yeah.
So, I know what some of you guys are thinking. You're thinking, Brad, there's way cooler concepts out there. What's so special about that one? I don't know. There's just something so pure about a simple, little functional Jeep. And I'm telling you guys, I've wheeled this one, and it really just gets the job done. I truly think, and I told Regina, that one of these days, I'm gonna build a two-door JK almost identical to this. This is kind of what I want. These other Jeeps are amazing, but honestly, this one's for me. Okay, now I'm behind the wheel of the Willys Dispatcher, and I love that this is a kind of a retro throwback, but on a newer platform, right? We're a 4xe platform, but there are a lot of little details on this Jeep that I really like. I love the embossed hood, the little logo on there. I really think that's super cool. And it's got the pizza cutter tires. These are a 36-inch tall tire. I don't know what the width is, but I really like them. You guys know I've gone with kind of a tall, skinny tire for the Gladiator. I actually really like these. I would consider putting these on the Gladiator. But just a lot of nice details in here. I love the distressed leather, the houndstooth stitching fabric all over the place, the color on this thing. It's just a really cool little Jeep. And it's very smooth. It drives like a very comfortable modern day 4xe, but it's just got a little bit of retro styling, which I really like. All right, guys, this is Sean Holman. He is a longtime friend, and he's the editor-at-large for OVR Magazine. It's a great magazine. Sean, great to see you again, buddy.
Yeah, always great to see you out here.
How many times have you been to Easter Jeep Safari?
This has got to be somewhere around 20.
Wow. This year, pretty good lineup.
Yep.
Do you have one that stands out that's a favorite?
So I own a 392 like you do. That's my favorite one. Yeah. I think that thing is just it's the last hurrah. It's a nod back at lower 40, which is huge, because I remember when lower 40 was one of the concepts for the very first time. All these vehicles have kind of this emotional bond or connection to, and because they're named and they all were built in a certain moment in time for a certain reason, they just resonate differently, and so love all that stuff. But for me, it's the 392 concept.
Okay, real quick, if people aren't familiar with OVR Magazine, tell us about it.
Okay, so I was at Motor Trend Group for 20 years. They got rid of the Truck and Off-Road Group and Four Wheeler Magazine, and so myself and a bunch of partners got together, so there's 5 of us, and we launched OVR Magazine, so available nationwide, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, OVRmag.com, and it is the highest quality, general interest, outdoor vehicle recreation, wheelbase adventure magazine you're going to have. Please check us out, and if you've missed magazines the way they should be, that's the magazine to take a look at.
It's definitely a good one. It's good to see you, buddy. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
All right, here we go, guys. This is going to be the plushest ride of the day. We are in the Vacationeer concept. And
Vacationeer.
Sean, this is familiar territory to you because you are a Grand Wagoneer owner.
Yes,
yeah?
I have one.
What do you think of it?
I mean, it's a great daily driver for the family. The reason we got it is because, well, one, we wanted to stick with our favorite brand, and two, it has 7 seats in the back. And it has massage seats, which you can see right here.
Oh, yeah. Well, this one has, oh, wow, there it is.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, this one has no seats in the back. It's all it's overland built. It's got that.
It has a picnic basket, though.
Yeah, it's got a very expensive rooftop tent. And it's probably going to be the most comfortable ride of the day. Oh, that massage.
Yeah, isn't it nice?
Oh,
the
wow.
butt massage.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
This is definitely the right one to end the concept drives with.
Correct, 100%. Yeah, so this is on 35. It's got a little lift. They made the fenders a little bigger.
What I want to know is how is it going to handle the off-camber stuff and going up the rocks?
Yeah. Well, it should be good. We'll see. Everybody else has driven it. I think we're the last ones.
Yeah,
so.
they're waiting on us.
All right, it's after lunch now, and I find myself in a brand new 2024 Jeep Gladiator Mojave. And, well, I actually wasn't going to film this, but after about 30 minutes of literally bombing down these sandy trails at high speed, I realized that this is something worth sharing with you. This is my first time driving a Mojave off-road, and I have a Gladiator Rubicon, and I've always thought the Mojave was just a slightly better suspension and beefed up frame Jeep, but this Gladiator is more than that. The comfort on the trails at speed is surprising, and I would not take my Rubicon through something like this, at least not without some spine-injuring jolts that would happen. This Mojave soaks up the terrain like no other Jeep I've driven before. I think the challenge is most people want to put larger tires on a vehicle like this and might be inclined to modify the suspension, and I would say don't. I think Jeep should just offer the Mojave with 35s or 37s from the dealership. That would make this the ultimate desert Jeep. After driving Sandstorm today and now the Mojave, I've got some inspiration with the future direction of my 392. I've got a rock crawler, and I've got an overland Gladiator. A fun desert runner with a 392 under the hood? The wheels in my head are turning, guys.
Well, good morning, guys. It's day 4 here in Moab, Easter Jeep Safari, and this morning I'm at the trailhead for Poison Spider, and I'm here with the guys from Northridge 4x4, Bilstein, and TrailRecon. That's right, all 3 of us sponsored this run, and we've got somewhere around 16 or 17 Jeeps that are going to be hitting this trail and just spending the day out here having a great time, and I'm going to take you along, and we'll film what we can film. It's tough when you're in a group, but there'll be some opportunities at some of the obstacles to watch everybody work through getting some of the good little technical sections, which should be a lot of fun. And this is the nicest morning we've had so far. The sun is shining, it's a little warmer. It's going to be a beautiful day for wheeling, and this is a great trail. I've done this trail many times, and every time I enjoy it. So one of the things I really love about Poison Spiders, it's just got a little bit of everything. You've got some shelf rows, some tight turns, some nice steep climbs, and then you've got a section like this where it's just wide open and you're gonna get after it a little bit. I love this trail, but I've done this trail many times over the years, and every time I just really enjoy it. Now our group is pretty big, and so there's been a couple times where things have slowed down, but you know, I think that that's actually a benefit of coming out here like this, is when you get an opportunity to kind of slow down, maybe pause for a minute while folks are catching up, you get a chance to just kind of talk to everybody, get to know folks, so you're not just on the trail just marching through everything. You actually get to experience not just the trail but the people here, and that's what I love about this. So far this morning, a great day.
Much of the technical section right there. We have a few more little sections coming up.
All right, we've been on the trail for a few hours and just got done with this lumpy, bumpy section here. Well, I'm almost done with it. And then we're gonna hit the sand wash and make our way to the arch and the overlook for lunch, which I'm looking forward to. But let me just talk about Doc for a minute, because I was really worried about some of those obstacles back there on how, you know, long wheelbase on 35s, you know, big departure angle was gonna perform, and man, this guy has impressed me today. I mean, I've had to pick my lines very carefully, knowing I'm on 35s. In fact, I'm probably the smallest tire in this entire group. There might be one or two other Jeeps at 35s, but you know, people say Gladiator on 35s. No, it needs to have 37s. I'm here to tell you, no. I just did Poison Spider. Well, we're gonna finish this out, but we've really done most of the hard stuff already. I'm very happy with how Doc has come together. Little 3-inch lift, 35-inch skinny tires, and it's gonna take me everywhere I need to go. I am full of joy right now. Great day on the trail. Jeep's performing well. Great people. Life's good. All right, we made it to the top. We got this beautiful overlook of the river and the arch, and this is always a great spot to stop for lunch. So where everybody's just chilling, just having a good time, and it's been a great day all the way up here. It's just been a blast, and I am so happy how Doc has performed. 35-inch tires, the AEV 3-inch lift, it's just performed so incredibly well. Now, we only have a little bit of slick rock, some sand, and then it's kind of an out and back. And then we got to get on the same section we were on the way out of here. And so I think after 4 days of having you guys along with me out here in Moab, we're going to wrap this up. And so I hope you've enjoyed this video. I have had an amazing time out here. If you haven't checked us out over at TrailRecon.com, be sure to go give us a check out. And there's all kinds of stuff over there to outfit your next adventure, guys. I have had a blast. Thank you so much for everything. Safe travels.